All right, guys, welcome back to the Uncaught Exceptions podcast. You got me, Paris, and Krystal, and we got a special guest today. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, you guys, Kayla here. I go by Robinhood Kid on TikTok. Oh, no, I don't. I don't go by Robinhood Kid on TikTok. I go by Girls Talk Stocks. But on Twitter, I'm still Robinhood Kid.
Oh,
I think shots have been already fired.
Fired?
And we just started.
damn.
So we can get right into it. So, what made you decide to change your name to Girls Talk Stocks?
You know, that's so funny that you asked that because I've actually been going back and forth the past couple of days. Like, did I make the right decision? Should I have done that? Part of it, and it should start with where that came from too. Krystal, have I told you this? No?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But basically, like, you guys have heard the term in the stock market or in finance, like boomer bears.
Yeah.
If you're like, bearish about the markets, you're typically the older boomer generation. They're just like, that's a boomer bear. And then you have these young kids that jump into the stock market, whether they take their stimulus checks or are just YOLOing in the stock market. And it's typically in the Robinhood app, right? Like they download the Robinhood app and all these boomer bears, if you like, these Robinhood kids are just messing with the markets. And so it's not that I'm like, oh, Robinhood is my favorite app on the entire planet. It's literally like this. Yes. Did Robinhood innovate the entire industry? I think so. I think there was a crazy amount of innovation that they did, but like what they've done to trading obviously is wild. But the attention on it is more so just the name. Like, yeah, there's a generation of Robinhood kids that are throwing money into the stock market, and which is supposedly why we have such a wild recovery back in March. It's because kids started getting into the markets.
See, I knew that the meaning behind it wasn't that Robinhood was your favorite app. Like I knew the context, I guess, or I understood that it's because the young kids are using it, and we're like beginners. So it was kind of like you're like the Robinhood, that's why I thought it was.
Yeah. And that concept too, obviously my page where I'm like, if I'm posting something, it's probably because I learned it earlier that day. And it's just these concepts where it's like, okay, I, like myself, a lot of people who are getting into the markets and don't understand it. And I'm like, I'm right here with you. It's all of us. Not all of us. Obviously, there's educated people out there, but, dedicating some time and energy and resources to figure it out along the way and publicly, which is terrifying.
So, I mean, what have you been getting into like recently with your trading in your portfolio? Like, I know you've had like this app that you use and you like kind of share your portfolio, right?
Yeah. So there is an app called Iris. That is the one that's in my bio. But what it is, it's like a public trading app where you can connect your personal portfolio and you'll be able to, and your friends, like you guys can watch. Actually, Krystal, you were the one that, the reason why I started talking with this company is because you're like, oh yeah, you were one of the first people that reached out and said, I'm in a group chat with a couple of my friends and we talk about stocks. And I was like, I want to be in that freaking group chat. And then these guys reached out and said, hey, we have an app where we basically, we all realized we were in group chats together and wanted an app to do it on where we could message each other and follow each other's portfolios and get notifications and stuff. But that app only tracks my Robinhood portfolio. And that's actually part of the reason why I'm still using Robinhood is so that people can view some of the trades that I make.
I see.
But most of my trading is on Tastyworks, which is I do options trading, and that's what I'm learning right now. So like selling credits.
That's scary.
Yeah.
That's scary to me.
Gamble. I mean, it's a gamble if you don't know what you're doing. But Kayla, like you must have gotten really good at it. Because I know the last time we talked, like, you were still like, we wanted to study together, like the Greek options. Like, I still haven't gotten into it because I'm struggling with my fucking math class. So, I mean, no, but I do want to do it. I do want to understand it. But Paris, like you said, like most people are scared of options trading for sure. It's gambling. It's gambling.
It's gambling.
Doing.
Yeah. One of my friends used to do it in college. Like he used to just mess around. And like one day he made like from $200, he made 2,000. I'm like, dude, you're crazy. Like, like you're literally insane, dude. Like that's so scary. But then the next day he like lost like 500 and I'm like, dude, you're gonna put yourself in the hole. Just watch out. Like there
was a moment where I was trading, so I didn't understand how to trade options. I actually just learned what the video that went most viral for me a couple months ago was, I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but the options video where I was like, options are actually really easy to understand. Like I literally learned what options were that day.
Oh, okay. I probably did watch it.
And so I compared options to like putting something on hold at a retail store.
Oh,
so
yes, yes.
You put a product on hold at Ulta. They charge you, let's say Ulta charges you a fee for putting that product on hold, but you can go in and buy it at that price the next day, right? And so that's kind of obviously like the options contract. You can go to the market and it gives you the ability to purchase a stock at a certain price on a certain day, whatever. But I always thought I always understood the concept of buying options. And I remember so vividly, there was when everyone was doing YOLO Tesla calls, there was a call that was worth, I think it was $200. And I'm not kidding you guys. It was $200 and it was expiring the next day. And I called my dad and I was like, you should just buy this call first thing in the morning because I have a feeling that they're going to have a really good day tomorrow. Obviously, you have no idea what the markets are going to do on any given day. But I wish I would have screenshotted what it was worth, but it was up thousands of dollars. And I was like, Dad, did you buy it? He's like, no, I didn't. Like,
that's how that's why the Wall Street Bets kids got rich. YOLO on all of these calls.
Yeah, they were on the first day for GameStop and whatever.
Yeah.
So
how do you guys feel about that stuff? Are you guys involved in trading much?
I mean, I am. I have AMC still in my portfolio, and it's been going up all week. So I don't know if I was like thinking I should sell it right now before it goes back down, because I mean, what's the future of AMC?
It'll come back. It's gonna come back in
But AMC though, like I feel like unless they get acquired like by Netflix or something like that, there's been talks about that. Like I don't know if it'll go anywhere. Like are people gonna go to the movies?
Yeah, people. Like the movies is like an experience. It's gonna become more of like a, like a once in a while thing, but it's never gonna go away in my opinion. Like everyone likes going to the movies. Like and also like it also like
Paris,
you just broke up so hard.
It's also like it's disrespectful to filmmakers, man. Like if you're watching like their films that are filmed on 44 millimeter film, right? And you're watching it on an iPad, that's disrespectful, man. That's disrespectful.
That's so true. You don't even think about the quality that you're losing when they put so much effort into this. They're like, we could have done this in 1080p.
Yeah, for real. So it's like, so like that's one thing. It's like the film industry is like, they're always making film like this. So it's like, that's always going to be around in my opinion.
Have you guys thought about how these sort of industries are going to have to innovate in order to sustain themselves? I mean, like AMC, for example, this is crazy publicity, in my opinion. If I'm going back to a movie theater, I used to go to Regal all the time. I don't know if Regal is everywhere, but Regal theaters is where I would go no matter what. I didn't even think twice about it. But because of everything that happened with AMC, I will hands down, once theaters open, they'll be the first theater that I go back to. Actually, I would consider Regal because I can pay for my ticket with Ethereum, but yeah, that would be the only reason why.
Ooh, all right.
Ethereum,
dude, let's go there. I honestly I would have to go to AMC since I have stock in it, but I've never had a preference in movie theaters, so but now that you're saying Regal has Ethereum,
usually I don't care at all. Like
interesting. I guess I just do whatever's closest.
I rarely
to my
even
house.
go to the movie theaters, man. Like
yeah, true. That's true too. Like I don't remember the last time.
I'm not that big of a movie person. The only movies I would go to is Avengers. I watched all of those movies.
So
you know what I'm saying? Like and like the Dark Knight movies. Oh my God.
Paris, I swear to God.
But so like the Dark Knight movies, like basically the superhero stuff, I was watching all of that. But like anything else, I don't really go to the movies for.
Paris, did you have the movie pass? Did either of you ever have the movie pass?
No, I never paid.
You guys know what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it just like a movie club? Basically, you get you pay a monthly fee.
Well, it was for all it was crazy. It was for any theater. It was $10 for a month. I think they went into crazy debt to try to do what, I don't know if you guys remember when Redbox went into debt just to put Blockbuster out of business. Yeah. And then Blockbuster did go out of business, but I think it was because of Netflix.
Yeah, because of Netflix.
And then Netflix took Redbox.
Netflix wrecked everyone.
I mean, Redbox is still a thing, but everyone.
Netflix wrecked
and so now
everyone.
you see like So I don't know what the point of MoviePass was besides gathering data, but they went under so hard. And that's definitely a company I would never invest
honestly
in.
like yeah, so like the movie theaters innovation was Netflix. It's just they were just too slow to do it. They were like, they should have thought like, yo, why don't we put this on people's devices? And I don't know if they were out of respect for like what I was just talking about, like out of respect, like, oh, we're not gonna put these amazing movies on like a 10 by 10 inch screen, you know what I'm saying? Like
well, my thing is, now that you brought up the Regal thing with Ethereum, like I'm gonna sell my stocks in AMC unless they start.
You're gonna buy Regal? You're gonna buy Regal?
I don't think they're public.
I don't think they're.
Oh, they're not public. They're private.
I mean, they might be. I've never seen it.
But that would be one innovation.
I have no clue.
That movie theaters would incorporate to be able to sustain is like incorporating crypto as payment, because that's like such a cool hype thing right now. I feel like that would bring a lot of attention their way.
What's dangerous about it too is I think there was a law that was just passed that's going to make any purchases of goods and services with your crypto, you have to track it and you'll be charged your capital gains tax. So for example, you go to the movies and you pay $17 for your ticket, and you will be charged capital gains tax on top of that for cashing, paying.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It just happened.
Okay, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Wait,
I don't even know if it's official. I don't know if it's official, but that's something that they're trying to pass.
What percentage is that on top?
News.
Do you have any idea?
What was your question, Part?
Like, what percentage is that tax on top?
So capital gains tax can be anywhere, to my knowledge, and I'm not too sure because obviously I'm new to this stuff, but it's like between 15% if it's a short term, or a long-term hold, 15% for long-term hold. So anything over a year, and then up to like 40% for short term.
God. It's like an alcohol tax, man.
It's
like,
so
it's like a drug and alcohol tax. Oh my God.
It's brutal.
Right?
Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Are you into like, do you have a crypto portfolio now, or are you still kind of waiting? So I feel like last time we spoke about it, you weren't into it, I don't think.
Oh, really?
Or you weren't invested in it.
I
was wrong.
No, I mean, maybe we did talk about it. I can't remember. My journey with it has been interesting. I know back in, my dad was talking about it back in like 2016, and he's like, you got to get it, and then it crashed 2017, 2018. And he kept talking about like, oh, it's at 7,000, it's at 8,000. Should we buy? Should we sell? And I was like, you should have bought it, dude. Like you should have bought it. But for me, I bought in I bought in a little while ago. I just threw maybe like, it was so little. I was so nervous. So yeah, probably Krystal. I put like $100 in, and that was at, I think, Ethereum was at 1,200 and Bitcoin was in 40s.
Nice.
And then I was like, you know what? I'm feeling confident. And then I threw in like 500 or 600 into Bitcoin the other day, and not the other day. It was probably a month ago, and it hit 57, and then it plummeted the next day. And I was like, why does this happen to me?
It's volatile.
I get confident, and then
So that's how Paris is.
I was literally telling Krystal yesterday. I was like, we're all one Elon Musk tweet away from losing all of our money. Like, honestly,
gosh.
Elon could literally say, yo, Bitcoin sucks. And we'd all die. We'd all die the next day. Like
done.
Or we believe in Bitcoin so much that we cancel Elon. We don't know. We don't know what could happen.
No, I don't think you can cancel Elon.
The crypto market's pretty. I mean, they're pretty diehards in my opinion.
They honestly are. Actually, but did you see what he canceled NFTs?
He canceled NFTs. Honestly,
really?
So
I don't know if I should have a public opinion about this.
But especially because you have your NFT out there, I know. But what I would say is like, I think he said like, oh, you know what? It feels weird selling this, because he created an NFT and then decided to take it off the market.
Wait, so he didn't sell that tweet? It was a tweet, right?
Right, exactly. It was
I didn't follow up with that. Okay.
And he canceled it, and someone was like, did Elon Musk just cancel NFTs? And it was like this big thing of like, did he cancel it or did he not cancel it? And so I don't know if he did.
Honestly, in my opinion, like, who the heck cares about a tweet? Like,
who the hell cares about anything online?
That's my opinion.
That you can buy.
Really, a tweet like that, you can screenshot it and just
tell me.
Oh, like, wait a second. No.
Wait, what?
You're saying like the concept of NFTs in general, or?
Well, no. So no, in like in terms of a tweet, like I'm not talking about like other like art and stuff, right? That's fine. But like a tweet,
gotcha.
Really? I don't get the value of a tweet.
The value is that it's Elon Musk's tweet that he tokenized.
Was it a tweet or could you imagine being like, oh yeah, I own Elon Musk, anything that Elon Musk created, like I own that, maybe. That's mine.
Well, so like Kayla, I don't think you know, but Paris is working on a blockchain startup.
Oh, are you? What is it?
I don't know if you can talk about it a little bit, right?
Also, when you said who cares about a tweet, the answer is 49.2 million people.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't buy the tweet. That's my opinion on it. I wouldn't buy the tweet.
Yeah, but you're like so skeptical about crypto or buying crypto in general. So this isn't for you anyway. This is not your market.
Yeah, no,
it wasn't marketed to you.
I'm all about the utility of crypto, not the value, like the value that's going into it. Like so many people putting so much money into it.
I value the utility as well.
The utility is crazy. Like the utility is life changing, but like
you're talking about just the general use of it, right?
Yeah, like how big cryptocurrency can be used is amazing, right? Like I agree. But like the volatility of the market is too much for me sometimes. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. But what
do you think that Bitcoin is rightfully priced?
Yo, yeah, it's overpriced right now, and it's gonna keep going. So like especially as these large companies keep buying in, right? Like they keep buying in right now. And so it's just going to keep going up. Like the prediction of like 100K is coming for sure. Like 1,000%.
Yeah, they say it'll stabilize around 250.
Yeah. So I think that's like definitely coming, but it's like,
no.
I was about to say, wow. But like last year they were saying that.
They always say that they're saying that every week. They're like, yo, Ethereum's gonna hit 10K next week.
No, it was supposed to hit
10K next week.
Bitcoin was supposed to hit 300K. It just keeps going
infinite. Like I literally like just see all these like creators on YouTube. They're like, yo, Ethereum 12K next week, 15K next week. Like, and it just keeps going. And it's like, yo, it never hit this week. So maybe next week's gonna hit. I'm like, dude, no one knows. Like, no one knows, dude. Like,
now tell me the utility of the blockchain. Like, go into that a little bit.
Yeah. So, basically, what
he'll tell you this for days.
I love it. I love
we're in it. We're in it now, Kayla.
This is what
you're
we're
not going anywhere.
I think we're here till 8 p.m. Are we not?
I think so. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Forrest.
So we can get into like so let's start with open ledger system, right? So I think the most valuable thing about blockchain is like the open ledger system where you can see all the transactions, right? Like that's the biggest thing. That's like the coolest thing about blockchain is that every transaction, well, like if you're on a public blockchain, right? If you're on a private blockchain, obviously it's not open to everyone, but like you can see all the transactions and nothing can be spoofed. So you can imagine that applications in the financial industry.
Horace.
Give him a second. We got this. He'll come back to us. We just
I don't think he's coming back.
We should play Baby Come Back to Me.
Okay, there we go.
Baby Come Back.
It's gonna be so messed up when I'm
so you were talking about, you said,
I
know, private versus public blockchain. You can see it on a public.
So you can imagine in like the financial institutions and even potentially in just businesses in general, if they keep all their records in blockchain, there is no way you can fudge with the numbers. There's no fudging of the numbers once you use a blockchain based, like even point of sale system, anything. Like, so even like just being an accountant and having a ledger.
I'm gonna get the song. I'm gonna get the song queued.
Get the song.
Just even being an accountant and having a ledger. Now that ledger is completely uncorruptible, right? Like, so
exactly, yes.
Now in the financial sector, okay, that's infinite, right? So now we go into like peer-to-peer connections and on a peer-to-peer basis, right? So now you can think of services like Uber, services like Airbnb, right? So now these services could be completely peer-to-peer, right? So now you can imagine there's a blockchain with all the drivers available in your area, right? And you can filter out by like who's in your area and who's not. And so now basically all the app would do is just search through the blockchain what drivers are available in your area, and then it'll ping them. And now it's a completely peer-to-peer network where the driver is directly connected to you, and you can pay that driver directly, and you can pay him with cryptocurrency, right? So boom, like that's a cool thing. Same with Airbnb, you can imagine the same thing, right? So you can look for a specific area, filter the blockchain by like, oh, I want this price range, I want this type of house with this many people, right? And boom, now you have a peer-to-peer connection. You can pay that person directly without having to go through a third party like Airbnb and spend more money on top of that, right?
And I would also add into that, if you don't, I mean, this is probably one of your points as well, which is overseas, like payments overseas. I can.
Yes, that's a huge one. That's a huge one.
That is a huge one.
Right. So like right now, there's like all these services. I think like Easy Pay is one, right? Like you can go to Walmart and like send money and stuff like that, or you have to go to like a big financial institution and then send money through that, and then they send it all over, right? And there's
and
all
the
these
fees
surcharges
are
on top.
always higher than what the actual cost of your goods were.
And right now, so blockchain is still not fully like able to solve this solution, because in a lot of third world countries, you require cash, right? So the solution is there's some companies out there right now that are creating these like different distribution points where they do the conversion between the cryptocurrency and cash. And then so people can go directly to these machines, scan like, oh, I have this much cryptocurrency, let's get the cash from that, right? Like, so there are companies doing these in the third world countries, but that's still like a level that needs to be added or whatever.
You should look up, have you heard of Bitcoin Beach?
No, what's Bitcoin Beach?
Okay, so Bitcoin Beach, let me find out exactly where it is. I think it's El Salvador, but Bitcoin Beach.
This is our buddy Andrew joining.
Hi, Andrew. Welcome.
Hi.
What's up?
What's up, guy? Nice
going?
mic. Ooh, nice mic.
Thanks.
Is that a new
Brand
mic?
new.
Yeah. Nice and shiny. I
up.
like it.
Very podcasty.
I know,
Very
right?
much. Thank you very much.
Andrew, I'm Kayla, by the way.
This is Kayla.
Nice
Sorry.
to meet you.
This is actually Girls Talk Stocks on TikTok, formerly Robinhood Kid.
Still Robinhood Kid on Twitter though. So
well, we got to keep that, right?
Gotta keep it.
That's where the Vlad follows you.
People are confident that I'm a meme account, and I'm gonna leave it that way.
Yo, that's
Are you kidding? That is hilarious, dude. First of all, okay, no, let's get into Bitcoin Beach. We'll get into that situation later.
Yeah. So what's going on with Bitcoin Beach?
Bitcoin Beach is a beach in El Salvador, and to my knowledge, what?
Because look, I just googled it. It's like literal bitcoins on a beach.
Yes. So it is an entire beach town that operates off of Bitcoin. You can buy your groceries in Bitcoin. You pay people. You have like students in that come and do like they run their resort operations, and they get paid in Bitcoin. You can transact in Bitcoin. You can pay for your hotel room in Bitcoin. All of it. Just
That's
anything is Bitcoin like all of it. So super interesting. It seems to be a bit of a test run on just basically to see. And I mean, I don't know what the financial situation of El Salvador is, but if it's something,
I don't think it's good.
Probably not fabulous.
I don't know. Think it's great at all.
And I mean, I have to be careful with this too, because this is what I studied in college. But like, I think that the level, the way that you can bring people out of poverty by bringing in like these new financial methods or whatever it is, people coming to the beach to pay with their Bitcoin and to transact in Bitcoin, it just becomes something that could probably lift a lot of people out of poverty, which is a whole nother concept.
Yes. And you, oh my God. Yeah. And you, basically you accelerate these third world countries to skip like their industrial revolution, right? So they don't need to have one. They can go directly into the technological age, which is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another application of blockchain, right? Like where you just go completely blockchain, like, and then obviously there's voting, right? So you can solve the issue of voting, virtually through blockchain. So that's done. Like that's
oh
easy,
yeah, no
right?
more
Like,
no more fake news from Orange.
So you have like a completely distributed system, and then every person has their own private key, right? And so then you just send your vote with your own private key, and boom.
And then when everyone forgets their private key, they just no longer are the survival of the fittest. You forget your key, you don't deserve to vote.
Precisely.
I'm totally kidding.
No, I'm not kidding.
So at that point, you could probably get like voting up to like, I don't know if you'd get everyone, but you'd maybe get 75% of people at that point, right? Like versus having like freaking 20% right now. How many people are voting right now? I don't know. Like
I think it
something
was
really
I
low.
think it was 60 or something this past
Oh,
election.
really?
Oh.
It was insane. Actually, let me
No, 7 million, 70.
It was 70%?
Wow.
Really?
I think.
Wow. So maybe you could get, maybe with virtual ones, you could get 90% then. I underestimated how many people were voting. Okay.
Maybe
It
it was
says-
less. I don't know.
Americans voted in record numbers in the last presidential election, casting nearly 158 million ballots. But what vote is that? So 2020 was 62%, and the year prior was 54%. So we had nearly a, what is that, 8%
Wow.
jump?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So yeah, maybe you could get up to like 85% with virtual voting. Like that would be crazy. Yeah,
Interesting.
then that's a true democracy right there, guys. Once that happens.
Yeah, but you know someone's gonna try to stop that. Like, how is it? This is someone. Someone somewhere is gonna be like fake news. Like,
so
this
like
is
that's what Estonia does right now. So Estonia does this. They have like a
cueing the music.
They have an app.
All right.
Can you guys hear it? There we go. That's what I was looking for. Next time. Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna just turn off this camera then. I'm gonna use my computer camera. I think my computer camera is
what is it today?
It's so like I use like my phone is my camera. So it's like there's an internet connection that sends the feed to my computer.
Yeah, you're a little
so
dark.
It's like
though,
when
buddy.
it's directly
silhouette.
Beautiful. Look at those shadows. Oh, and
okay.
You're still good.
Is it still dark? It's a little bit better. But yeah, so like they do completely virtual voting. So that's the thing.
Yeah, I think it's something that we could potentially see. I don't see a problem with it. I'd imagine.
Yeah, but I don't know when our backwards government's going to do that. So
yeah, virtual voting is a great idea. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Virtual voting is a great idea.
Yeah, you sound really good with that mic. I need one. Is that a Yeti?
Yeah, it's a Yeti. It's a Yeti Nano.
I didn't want to spend that much money on a Yeti.
I don't want to spend $200 on a mic, but I will now.
I spent $45.
It's $100.
Can you link me?
He said it 3 times.
Send it.
I'll send you the link.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's literally just like the regular like Yeti, except it's $30 cheaper. So I think there's like 4 different like voice modes. This one only has 2 and it's smaller. It's the 2 most popular ones.
Whatever
whatever
the voice mode is, it's working. So
yeah.
Sweet.
Okay.
All right. Anyways. Yeah.
It's making it
what I was saying,
it's crispy.
It's crispy.
We should have a voting at the end of this on whose mic was best.
Yeah, man, add that. We're gonna we'll do that, and then we'll tell him
he automatically wins though. He automatically wins. What the hell?
I wonder if I just bring mine closer and start. It's like, no, I
Did
will
you get
absolutely
a Yeti too?
No, this is a Rode. But I'm like, no, this is better than Andrew's. Don't listen to them. When you vote. And we're voting, by the way, we're not voting on a Google Doc. We are doing the blockchain vote.
Blockchain. Somebody implement blockchain voting
but
right
it's
now.
so far away. It's so far away, and I can still hear you. What the heck?
Oh, mine?
Can you link me to yours too? I'm gonna do some research.
I did not get my own mic, so I have no idea what I own. But
you got it for free?
Your dad got it, huh?
Damn.
If your dad got it, it's probably like thousands of dollars.
No, so like I said, I trade with Tastyworks sent me a mic because I was talking into this one.
Nice.
And they were like, girl.
They're like so sad.
They're like, bruh.
They're like, what is your studio? I have to show you guys this. We're gonna remove the virtual background for a second. What's your studio look like? I'm like, it's just nothing. And then and they asked about my lighting too. I was like, sunlight. I'm sitting by a window. That's about the extent of it.
Nice.
So. Anyways, sorry, Andrew, we totally cut you off.
I know, we've been cutting you off for the last 20 minutes.
Just entertain. Your mic is just so good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Hello. How are you? Yeah, so what I was saying, like, voting's a great idea, like virtually. The only problem with the government is that like it's such a huge system. Like if you think of the government, it's basically a gigantic corporation, right? It's the biggest corporation in the United States. And like the bigger the system, the harder it is to make changes. My dad has worked for government for like 30 years, and he'll tell you like, if you want to make like the tiniest change, there's so many levels of approvals you have to go through. So even though it is more efficient and it is better in the long run, it's just like not just a technological challenge, it's also a political challenge.
Right.
It is, but they're real quick when they really want to do something though.
Right.
That's something interesting, right? They're real quick when they all agree on something. But like for something like this, no one will agree. They'll be like both sides. It doesn't matter if they're red or blue. They'll both hate this, and they'll be
unless they can make money out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they're getting money out of it.
We need Elon Musk to tweet about it and say it's valid and legit. Then
no,
maybe
I don't even think that'll work. Like it'll take a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know if that's any time in our lifetime, unfortunately. Like at all.
It might be.
I mean, I want it to be. Like, I feel like that would be the most secure
I would
way to
hope
vote.
in like maybe like 30 years, maybe we'd be close to it. I hope.
I'll be retired. So I'll be retired in Ibiza, so you guys won't even hear from me.
In 30 years? Girl, what is your retirement plan?
I mean, I want to retire before that, but you know.
Question. Totally off topic, and I apologize, but I don't apologize. If you retire, what will your retirement job be?
I'm going to be I'm gonna have multiple rental properties, so that will probably be my job. You know, like maintaining and like being a landlord.
Yeah. If I retire, maybe I'm just gonna keep making videos. That's why.
Taurus is gonna be making video content for TikTok into 90s.
Yeah, like when I'm like 70, I'll be like, screw this, I'm not doing this anymore, and I'm just gonna be a full-time YouTuber or something. Like
they're like, the year is 2050. We no longer use computers or cell phones, but Taurus is still on TikTok.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I want to know now. What do you guys? What would your job be? Like actual? I guess I need to think about that. But I mean, I again, like I would have rental properties. So
yeah, I ran into this guy so I used to in high school we would go serve at a soup kitchen, or I don't know if you guys have ever been down in LA, Skid Row, and I know there's Skid Row soup kitchen. And I was in the kitchen, and this guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm actually an actor. I'm retired," in his maybe 40s or 50s, pretty early, you know. And I said, "Then what the heck are you doing here?" He's like, "My word of advice to you is to never stop working a single day in your life. Like always be doing something." You know, he said, "Even if I have all the money in the world, I will still continue to work in some capacity." And he said for him, it was just, you know, serving in a soup kitchen, you know, and it didn't have to be like making money necessarily, or it could be, you know, whatever you do to keep yourself active.
You made my answer sounds so shallow.
That was not my answer. That was his answer.
He's making me feel bad about myself right now.
No, I mean, it's whatever you want to do. It's just remaining active, even into, like, people have this goal of retirement, and it's like, for me, I'm like, sense. I feel designed to, like, I feel like part of me is like, it's good to work, you know, I like work.
I feel like it keeps you
bored if I didn't work.
I really like the model of
making videos.
I don't know if you guys know about Tim Ferriss. Do you guys know Tim Ferriss?
No,
Tim
what
Ferriss.
is it?
No one knows Tim Ferriss.
4-hour work week, right?
Yes, him, right? So what he said is he doesn't necessarily believe in retirement. He likes micro retirement, like where he takes like a year off maybe, right? Or even like 2 years off, right? But he'll come back and then he's gonna start a new project. He's gonna invest in something else. Like, oh, am I gone again?
You're back. You came back before I could get the song going.
What is going on, bro? Like,
I don't know.
Is this gonna happen the rest of
the past 2 days? Like, my Wi-Fi has been terrible. Like I told you guys at the beginning,
I forgot.
It's been horrible.
Yeah, you did.
So it's like, I don't know what's been going on. Like, it's just
maybe
bad.
you need to move out to California.
We're
all in California, the three of us, by the way, and our internet's fine. So I'm just saying.
Wait, Andrew is in California too?
Andrew is
I'm in Ventura.
Yeah, he's north of us.
Oh, you're not far from. Well, closer to me probably, since you're so far where you are.
Where are you?
No,
Beach?
Kayla's closer to me. She's in
Where's
Seal
that?
Beach. Seal Beach.
Seal Beach.
It's like okay, like you just go down the beaches, right? It's like Newport, Huntington, Seal Beach, I think,
Wait,
right?
opposite.
Next to
Oh,
Huntington
other
Beach.
way. Sorry, other way. So it's Newport, Huntington, Seal Beach.
Yes, yep, exactly.
Up the coast.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
so
don't know where any of this is.
you guys might Forrest just moved. Anyway, but yeah, that's where we
People
are.
are like, oh, you're from Illinois? Chicago? Is that where you're at? Yeah, Chicago.
That's it. That's the only place people know.
What were we saying? Sorry.
What was I saying? I don't remember.
The
4-hour work week.
You were talking about taking mini retirements instead of retiring at the end of your career.
Because like that way you can enjoy life a little bit more, right? And stay active, like Kayla was talking about. It's like you can take that time off where you're like, all right, I'm literally gonna do nothing, right? Like, let me just relax, right? And you do that. You spend a year, whatever, how long, 2 years, but then you can come back, like refocus and be like, oh, let's work on something I'm actually interested in, and like go do it. Like, I think that's really cool. But like right now, like I guess you have to be in a really good spot to do that, right? Like honestly, right now.
Yeah.
But like
financially,
that would be cool. That's the goal. That's the ideal, right?
Yeah. I think Tim Ferriss, he was also saying that like one thing you don't realize is that once you retire, you're gonna get like really bored and like you know, you might get depressed because like you've been working your entire life and you're not used to just like not doing anything. And if like you take a trip now and you're really bored and depressed, like it's better to have that realization now than like at the end of your career when it's like too late. You know what I mean? And like, okay, so I'm not really enjoying this. Like, what do I do now? So like, I'll give you an example. Like when I graduated, I took like a spontaneous like trip to Spain for like 2 weeks, and I thought I was gonna have a good time, but honestly, like it was really boring because like I just like spent the last 5 years like working really hard in school and whatever, and I was just like, yeah, I'm not having fun, like even though like I'm in Spain, like it wasn't, you know. But like, yeah, so it's like, okay, like if I retired and I had this feeling, then it's like, okay, well, it's too late now, you know what I mean?
Well, think about like people in COVID right now, when a lot of people lost their jobs or were laid off temporarily, and you see depression rates and the anxiety rates just skyrocket because people are so used to having, whether it's their normal routine, getting out. People are like, oh, I hate my job, and it's like, oh, I hate being at home. I'm like, no, you're just a sad person. Like you just don't like life. And to realize that sooner.
Everyone duck for cover.
I mean, to be able to be sane in, you know, in whatever the circumstances are is something that I definitely aspire to be. And so it's like, how can you manage
like,
with that?
Yeah, for me, it's like, I love like I like tinker all the time, like whether I'm creating a video or I'm like making some random script to do some random thing, right? Like I like doing that. So it's like if I retired, like I'd still be doing that, so I wouldn't like actually be retired, you know what I'm saying? So it's weird.
So Paris has like zero free time. Like he does like 3 podcasts. He like works full time and he makes video for TikTok every day. And he also is starting a startup. Like,
and he's my social media manager, apparently.
Exactly.
Because I need one at this point. Wait, that's crazy. What is it? That?
He's speechless. He's speechless.
This face though, this face, damn, the way you were frozen, it was so cute. You looked so happy, like happy and retired, like.
I was like, do you like that? And you're like,
that's a yes.
Yo, thanks for Krystal for hyping me up. She hyped me up so much. But
no, for real though. Am I lying?
No,
Andrew?
I like
no, you're not lying.
I feel like I'm like I have this weird like I feel terrible when I'm doing nothing. Like actually, like legitimately, like if I'm doing nothing, like I'll like sometimes I like chilling and just like watching YouTube, but like no, I feel weird if I'm not doing something. Yeah, that was the summer.
I see what you're saying.
Do you guys ever take time to do like any sort of like meditation practices or anything like that?
I probably should.
In college a lot.
Yeah.
Where did you go to college, Andrew?
I went to UC Berkeley.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, but I like transferred in, so like I went to community college first. for like 3 years, and then I transferred to Berkeley for 2 years.
Nice.
Which community college were you at?
Moore Park College. I went to 3. I went to Moore Park College, Ventura College,
you went to 3 different
and
ones?
Pierce.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow.
it was a pain in the butt.
Yo, explain that real quick. I'm curious. Like what
Well,
was that whole
it's
process?
like,
If you
so
want to,
for
if you
example,
want to.
I'll give you an example.
it.
I'll give you an example. So for example, my last semester I had to take data structures. Moore Park College didn't offer it. Ventura College didn't offer it. So I had to drive all the way to LA, like literally like an hour drive to take that class. Because if I didn't take it, like wherever I would have gotten in, they would have rejected me because they assumed
without that
I
class.
would take that in the spring. So yeah, that's why, it was a pain, but I made it work.
That's crazy. So like, you moved around because you had to take different classes that weren't offered at different places and whatever.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Exactly. I also tried to get the easy professors. So.
Oh, nice. You always got to play that game. You got to play that game.
RateMyProfessor.com. Shout out.
Can we get sponsored by RateMyProfessor.com? Because legit,
I mentioned it on every podcast. Or
well, I mean, I will, because I fucking love that website. In college, like literally, that's all I would do is I would make sure that these professors were legit, or I straight up won't take them.
So I went to a nerdy ass school where people
would like say the name.
He went to Purdue.
Yeah, so I went to Purdue.
This guy's like
people like the hard teachers, and I'm like, dude, what? Like, so Rate My Professor was useless. Rate My Professor was useless because you would see the really good ones, like 5, like I love this professor, like he's so good, and then you'd see the one where like I hate him, I failed, and it's like you don't know which one's right. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, I give up.
Yes. Yeah. The amount of professors too. I feel like everyone's opinion on professors is so different. For me, I'm like, I want an intelligent professor who's going to challenge me. Right. Mm-hmm. And then some people are like, no, dude, this professor was the best because like I failed every exam, but he still gave me an A. And I'm like, yikes. Like, first of all,
did you learn anything?
Yeah. Damn.
But I mean, that was a far exaggeration, but I think that in general, it's good to know the professors. For me, I looked like, they were so relational. They helped me with what I needed, that I love. But I mean,
what was your degree in?
Sociology.
Okay. So did you enjoy, like, did you work in that field, or do you enjoy now more like being in the stock market and learning about the like econ and stuff?
Totally. Oh my gosh. It's been such an interesting journey, honestly. So I grew up pretty religious, actually. So the journey into sociology was to go into like social work, and specifically if I ever wanted to work with orphanages or things like that, right? That was kind of the goal. And then I went to school and I realized there was this like massive the income gap, the wealth gap, right? You just have this crazy gap between the people who are living in poverty and the 2% of the population that owns 80% of the finances, or 80% of all the wealth. And it's just like, why is it that 2% own 80%? That doesn't make sense to me. And so I began studying that. My senior thesis was on homelessness and opinions that homeless people have about themselves and about other homeless people. And then I graduated in 2019, and I started working as an executive assistant. And that just was something that was offered to me. It was good pay. I was like, sure, dope, a job out of college, I'm into it. And I started doing it, and I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like, this doesn't sit right with like my soul, And so I decided to step out of that mid-pandemic. Actually, it was in July. Wow. And I did one of those, whether you call it a 4-hour work week, but I was like, I'm just going to I had saved up a ton of money. Like I said, it was a decently well-paying job. And go ahead.
Wait, so you basically quit your job in the middle of the pandemic? That's insane.
Well, I started losing.
That is badass.
That's ballsy AF.
But here's the deal too. I don't want to make it sound like it was just like, and then I decided I didn't want a job. I was losing my mind. It was one of the most complicated jobs I had ever done in my entire life. And
you probably have to wear a lot of hats. Like you probably do a little bit of everything.
Yep. Exactly. It got to the point where in March, April, I hit a fever, and I thought I had COVID. I don't know if I could say this on the podcast, but it disappeared within a couple hours. And I realized I had this like wild stress, anxiety fever. They're like real things where you can give yourself physical symptoms.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I've heard of this.
Mm-hmm. And so that was the trigger, like the turning point. So so it's too stressful for you, basically. Yeah. So May, I told my boss, I said, I'm so sorry, but this is, it's not working for me.
That's crazy.
This also isn't the trajectory I want my life to go on. And May, June, July is when I stepped out of the position. So I gave them good notice. Like, I'm not just someone who abandons ship, but I knew that I needed a change. And then come November, I was like, I haven't done anything for, what is that, 4 months, July, August, September, October, 5 months. And I was like, I need to pick up just learning something. I almost went back to school, but schools aren't a thing now. So I was like, I just need to be mentally active. And
is that when you started your account, is November?
I started my account early December. So that's when
there's no way.
No way.
Holy shit.
That's crazy.
What? I thought you started it earlier in the pandemic.
No. So, and
That's
also
wild.
I'll change my lighting soon. I'm sorry.
It's only been like 4 months.
November.
Then.
Yeah.
Dude, she's at like 90K almost.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh,
blows me out of the water.
Good
that
shit.
blows me out of the water, man. That's crazy.
It's been such a good journey though, because I realized,
awesome.
and to answer the question too of like the world of finance in general, I realized all throughout college, I was like, how do you bridge this gap between people living in poverty and people living in excess wealth? And I think that's part of the conversation that I'm having with myself at this point. So
definitely.
And honestly,
That's
you've
awesome.
helped so many like beginners who don't understand the stock market, like in like the terms that are used, right? And
Sure.
you give like real life examples on how to like apply what you learn. I feel like it just makes sense to a lot more people than like trying to talk to some like stock bro on Stock Talk. Like those bros on Stock Talk are so insane
Krystal,
to me.
Krystal, who's worse, Linux bros or stock bros?
That is a close. I can't even answer that. I feel like they're right up there. Like
Linux bros are worse.
Yeah.
Wait, what are Linux bros? Now I need to be informed.
It's just like,
basically,
Linux is just another
like,
OS.
They're like coders that mansplain. Like
they're like the incels, right?
Like
that have like
so they're basically probably the same as stock bros, right? But like they're just
they like see your code and they're like, that's cool, but did you know that you did this wrong? And I also think this would be different.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Linux is just another operating system, and if they hear anyone that has like a MacBook, especially, they're like, oh, MacBook, like, oh, okay,
man.
All right,
I'm on a
MacBook,
right, man. MacBook's my life, man. MacBooks are
MacBook
my
is my life too.
They're like, you didn't build your own computer.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I built mine when I was 12.
See, exactly.
Yeah. It's a competition. It's a competition. Some guys will be like, yo, I built mine when I was 9.
Oh my god.
By myself.
Yeah.
Off of YouTube and learned from YouTube. And I'm
like, oh, really? What computer did you use for that YouTube? Like, tell me.
Yeah, that's the dramatic effect challenge that would be done.
It's crazy, dude. Like they actually compete. Like they have like legit pride in it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But Andrew, so Andrew's startup, I don't know if it's still in the stock market because he pivots it so much. Wait, are we back to trading bots? What are we now?
Oh god.
Okay, no, because he has a startup, but he's pivoted multiple times.
I'm not working on that anymore.
Okay, there you go. He was gonna do a trading bot, like, a startup, but now I guess he's not. But
it sounds like entrepreneurship to me, honestly. It's just like, I had this, but it's
just indecision. You're hyping me up. It's just indecision.
No.
Everyone's not that much credit.
Well, I was going there because I was gonna ask, like, what are you in the stock market? Like, what do you have a portfolio? So I was like,
I don't invest in stocks. I invest in options.
Oh,
so like
perfect.
I buy and sell options.
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
That's why you were so stoked when I told you that I do options.
Yeah, options are great.
Wait, what platform do you use?
I use Robinhood.
No, you don't.
All right, we're gonna stop.
Yeah.
We're gonna stop.
Are we getting into that right now? Is that where we're attacking this?
At least.
Weevil.
Yeah,
I don't
At
care what
least.
platform I use. Yeah.
Are we at the part where we're talking about Robinhood or no? Is that later?
Yes, we could talk about Robinhood.
Oh, okay.
Well, I do want to
just waiting.
We can definitely talk about Robinhood, but I want to Andrew, how do you even monitor your trades on Robinhood with your
What do you mean by monitor?
Are you buying or are you selling mostly?
Well, I'm like am I like doing calls or puts is what you're asking?
Do you sell premium or do you like buy? Yeah, I
just do calls. I just do call options.
Okay.
And yeah, so I mean, I don't really know what you're referring to, but like, yeah, I'll just buy an option 3 months out. I'm in like a Discord chat, so like we all like watched maybe like 10 different stocks. And yeah, so I'll just invest.
Sounds like Wall Street bets to me.
And then like if I get like 300-400%, I'll just sell it. Like I don't ever exercise the option.
Right.
And I usually always make profit. Like I rarely lose money, because if you like buy it like way far out in advance, like you don't really have that much of a risk.
It's so expensive to buy that far out though.
Well, if you have like 300 bucks, you can get a solid option. So that's what I do.
I can give you some tips on some things I'm learning too. So if you were buying a call, what I do is sell that call to you. I would be the person on the other end of that trade.
Really?
Yeah, but it's risky for both of us.
What, like you sell it to just one person specifically? Or
so it's a process that I don't fully understand at the moment, but I would technically sell to the market maker, and the market maker would make that exact exchange back to you right then in that moment. So I don't know how to explain it, but basically it's you and I are shopping at the same store, and instead of me, selling something to you in the store, I sell it to the cashier. The cashier immediately sells it back to you, and then you buy it from the cashier. So that's
the same thing. Is that the same thing I'm doing, or is that different?
It's different. So if you're buying the call, it means that you're thinking the stock price is going to go up. If I'm selling the call to you, and it wouldn't be obviously directly to you, I would actually have the reverse opinion. I would think in the long term, the stock would go down. So it's a little different.
Interesting.
But I would collect the premium. So you pay, what is it? Let's just say it's $180. You buy it for $180.
That's her $180.
That's my $180. Yeah.
Okay.
To give you that contract.
She's the owner of that contract until
he would then be the owner at that point.
Once you pay, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
It's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it, and like a lot of the things like that I do understand. I realize that I may not understand because I can't explain it to someone, but I just know in my head.
Right.
Like options is really.
It's actually, Andrew, like, have you ever shorted a stock?
I've never shorted. I've always done calls.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Have you ever shorted a stock?
No. So I've never shorted a stock, but I have, I don't know.
You have done a put option?
Yes. But I don't,
options. Okay.
Yeah. Puts, calls.
I hear that puts are more risky. Like, puts are more risky for some reason. I don't know. I was reading a book and they were saying that like you have to be more experienced for that. So I was like, okay, I'm only going to do calls.
Experience in general for options, in my opinion. Like, I don't think anyone should go in there just gambling and like YOLO things like these kids did. I mean, like, not saying, good for them, but because they made money. But YOLOing on options is like, if you're willing to lose all that money, then go ahead.
Yeah. And the nice thing about options, I feel like there's bigger returns. Like it is riskier because returns. Like if it expires, you can lose all the money you put into it.
Right.
But yeah, you could easily make 300-400%, super easily. Whereas if you're buying stocks, you're making like 20% if you're lucky, depending on what you're investing.
Like I like watching it. I like watching the money just go up, like in options, because just like with options, it's just like it either just keeps going up or keeps going down. I don't know. I guess I'm into the thrill of the gamble too, though.
Well, especially
that's just the Asian in me.
Oh my gosh.
We love to gamble, guys. That's not even a secret.
I honestly, that's probably why I like trading so much, is because of that like little bit of adrenaline. What is it? Not adrenaline. Maybe it is adrenaline. I don't know. Endorphins that you're like, yes, is the scratcher going to be the one that dopamine? Yeah, exactly.
Dopamine, yeah.
So, but did you want to chat about Robinhood? What were we?
We're going to talk shit about Robinhood, apparently.
Oh, you don't even know, Andrew.
Is it bad? Do you guys hate it?
No. We need to talk about what happened with the stonks that week. Yeah, with the Wall Street Bets boys. So, what's your question, Paras?
No, I just don't. I think they're unethical, man. I don't like them. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, they are.
The company.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just like Zuckerberg, man. They're just like Zuckerberg. They're the same. They're the same people. Just because they innovate in a field doesn't mean that they're ethical. You know what I'm saying? I don't like their practices.
I mean, there's a chance that Vlad, the CEO, might watch this because Kayla's here.
Yeah,
So you
I
may
hope
want
he
to
hears
watch
me.
your mouth.
I hope he hears me. Hear me loud and clear. Hear me loud and clear. I think all your
but what
practices are
happened to
unethical.
like? Didn't he like slide in your DMs and like try to like plead his case that like he's like innocent? Like, you know, didn't he do that? I feel like that's the text he sent me that like, oh, did you see this? I was like, oh wow, he's following,
so
you know?
funny. No, so I can actually probably pull it up, but he followed me on Twitter and I was like, hello? And then I sent him a message and I just said like, hey, I want answers, basically. And then he responded and said, stay tuned. And then I was like, huh? Excuse me?
Stay tuned for what?
I know. I was like, what is this? Some sort of like sitcom? Like, stay tuned.
For next episode. This is like, here's a sneak peek. Like he's going to send you a sneak peek next. Here's a sneak peek.
Sneak peek. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, gosh, this guy, and granted, I've worked for, so the past 2 jobs that I've had, I work for CEOs of companies, some large, some small. And it's just like they're busy people. I have no idea why this guy's on Twitter, you know?
It's not that busy, dude.
Well,
like that week, you know, he was that week and like maybe 2 weeks. He was all over Clubhouse, like in every room, trying to like plead his case. And like everyone was like, even Elon Musk like went into investigative journalist mode and was like, why? And he couldn't, there was nothing he can say.
So
I don't know.
He sent me something that he had written and he said, did you see this? And then I sent him a TikTok video where I said that I literally responded and I said, I have information regarding point number 1. And I said, yes, I did see this. And then he said, okay, got it. That covered number 1 of 4. Let me work on the other 3 questions that you have. Stay tuned. And then he sent me 3 videos and he said, I believe I've answered all your questions in these 3 videos. I posted them in order from shortest to longest. And then his team reached out to me and asked if we could set up a phone call. And so I actually jumped on the phone with him and his team, along with actually my dad, who's on YouTube. And so it was my dad and Vlad and 2 of the other girls in their team. And we talked, and I have to be honest, like I've gotten opinions and voices from a lot of different people in the system. And what people made it out to be, first of all, let me speak to Vlad himself. On these live videos, he's obviously liable for a lot and the things that he says. Like he has to be so careful because there's just things that you can't say, things that maybe he wants to say that I have like a floating ghost. Did you guys see that? When the sun goes away, my lighting is just, it ends. So talking to him in like not live in front of an audience where he has to be so careful about the words that he says. He was so normal, so normal. And I don't think he'll probably listen to this, granted that he's a busy dude, but super, super interesting to just have that conversation with him. And then later I had conversations with because I also have been able to connect with some people who own other brokerages and whatnot, and people just in the industry in general. And when they say what they did was standard practice, it like surprisingly, actually for the circumstance, what he should have come out and said is that they were having financial issues. Basically, if they didn't do what they did, they would have very quickly gone under as a company, and you would have lost all of your money in Robinhood, and there was no way for them to protect it. And the only way to protect everyone's account was to stop trading on those stocks. And it's just one of those things where everyone in the industry agreed, like, I mean, not everyone, obviously, there's a lot of people that are really upset about it, but it's just like, that is what they had to do because quite honestly, they're a 5-year-old startup.
I guess that's where it like,
I don't got any excuses for
standard
that,
practice.
Yeah,
like that's where the
in my
issue
opinion, that's
lies.
where my opinion is. I don't care what standard practice is. you got to make it clear with whoever's using your app. Yo, we're selling whatever you buy and sell on here. We're selling that data, and that data is getting used for some other reason, right? And since they weren't clear about it, yo, I don't like it. It doesn't matter if they had
do you feel like other
or
companies are doing the same thing?
I'm sure they are, right? And that's what the whole that's why that's why I really like blockchain. That's another reason why I really like blockchain. But I'm totally like
Do you know that Vlad's open to the blockchain?
Was that like in using the blockchain for Robinhood?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so is he planning to pivot? Is he planning to pivot?
It's one of the solutions. He acknowledges and I think that's one thing with the company. And for the record, I think it's interesting. There is a little bit of a skew in the conversation of do they sell data? Because they say they sell data to the market maker so that they can get ahead of certain trades, right? That's actually I did make a TikTok video on this and I took it down because I made a joke at the end that people were really I basically gave Krystal, did you see it where I said, so why is it that when you buy a bid is selling and I don't know, it doesn't matter. Anyways, I took the video down. But the way that Robinhood makes money is if you look at any trade, I'm trying to see, there's a spread on every trade.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if there's a 5-cent spread, if you're selling it, if you're selling your stock, you're going to be selling it 5 cents cheaper because you want someone to come in and buy it.
Right.
If you're buying it, you're going to buy it 5 cents more expensive so that you can it's just to get your hands off of it. If you sell at the market price, it will go through, or a market order on Robinhood, which almost all orders on Robinhood are market orders. It just goes in straight at that price. So there's a 5-cent profit in between that. And Vlad released information on this as well. He says this is how the market maker makes their money, is the market maker is making that exchange in the exact same moment. They're both the buyer and the seller. So they profit that 5 cents. And for routing that trade to Citadel, Citadel pays Robinhood a portion of that 5 cents. I think it's like 0.002 cents or something. Or 0.02% of whatever. I don't know. It's a tiny, tiny percentage, but it's how Robinhood makes money and it's how Citadel makes money. And that's not insider information or even them getting ahead of trades. It's literally just the way the risk that they're taking on to make that exact trade in that same moment. And it's a profitable, but people are saying that shouldn't be how it's done. It should just be on a blockchain, one person to another.
Facts.
And I mean, I'm glad that
if that happens, I'm more cool with Robinhood. But right now, no way, dude. I hate that kind of practice. Like that's what, after the Zuckerberg incident, like even with me, like before that point, I was like more cool with yo, who cares? Like I'm down with everyone taking my data. Right. But like after that point, I realized like what you can do with that data and how that data is valuable to the everyday person and how theoretically in the future, everyone can make money off their own data. And it's like, dude, this data is actually super, super valuable. Like people should pay us for this kind of stuff. Like that we're giving away for free. We're just giving this stuff away for free, honestly. And it's like, it makes no sense why the world works like that. Like this data is so valuable to the companies that they're willing to, they can not only take this data, they're going to sell it off again, or they're going to do something where they can get advertisers to buy in on this data. Like, so it's like, it's super, super valuable. It's like, why aren't we getting in on that cut then? You know what I'm saying? So I'm all about the user side, the consumer side.
There's actually, this is my plug for the company that I like, which this is like genuinely not an advertisement, but what we were talking about at the beginning was the Iris company that we trade on. Yes. Their biggest thing is the info, they can gather a lot of data and they're like, we're not selling this. They've had people reach out. They're like, what a great company. Can we have your data? And they're like, no, you can't have our data because you have a bunch of retail investors and they are attaching their portfolios. And what the app does is it takes that data and turns it into graphs and basically like you can see on the app like what stocks are being traded and how much is in each stock, percentages of portfolios and stuff, but they give it back to the retail investor. So the retail investor becomes the person with their hands on the data, which is
that's awesome.
That is
awesome. So backwards. Awesome. So for a company to say like, no, sorry, we're not selling you our data. Everyone's like, excuse me, then what's the point of your app? Like, how are you going to?
So Iris is a trading platform as well?
That's great.
I thought it was just like a portfolio sharing.
It is portfolio sharing. So I would trade on Robinhood, but your portfolio is attached to Iris.
So it's taking that like data, right? And it's analyzing it for you and giving it back to you, right?
Exactly. And awesome. It's analyzing everyone else's so that you can see
and providing you that information.
Exactly.
Oh, that's super cool. I love that. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Sold.
Whenever it's user centric and it's about, yo, I want to protect the user and I'm all about you. Like that's where they're getting money. They're getting money from us. If they're trying to screw us over, I'm not for that type of business. You know what I'm saying?
Totally. I told them, I said, tell me your company would go under before you sold data. And they were like,
there we go. Honestly, I love that. That's some good stuff. I love
but then how are they making money?
So investors, it's complicated. They'll have to find a different revenue stream. I don't know exactly what it is.
I was gonna say at some point, like, starting off cool. But I think that's where all companies kind of start off is like, all right, they want to do the right thing.
Yeah, and then you have to make the unethical decision. Yeah, right. It always.
And I think that's where Robinhood went wrong. So I don't hate Vlad for what he did, especially I know that it's standard practice, but I think it's the whole issue that it is standard practice. Like, I don't have an issue with the entire
and if also industry. My point on that is yo, you are in Silicon Valley. This is where you change standard practice. This is where we do it. We do it in Silicon Valley. Let's make that change right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's
we're gonna fucking do it, Paras. Yeah, your blockchain.
The fact that they didn't do it also pisses me off more. It's yo, get some more investment and then make that change to standard practice. Who cares about standard practice? This is where you break standard practice in Silicon Valley. You know what I'm saying?
But now think about it too. Would you pay? So for example, you guys are talking about you don't want them to sell your data. They need to survive they're surviving as a company. You're utilizing their services, and one of the ways that they're doing that is selling your data. Would you pay Robinhood now commission instead of allowing them to sell your data?
That would depend on how many trades I make, and as of right now, I don't make that many trades because I'm really just holding everything.
Same girl.
So then I would. I would pay because I don't make as many trades. But when I was first starting off, I would make so many trades a day. I'd have hundreds of transactions a day. So at that point, no. Yeah. So I guess to your point, most people probably would not want to pay per trade, depending
what
on
Robinhood did was hey, we're commission free trading and we're going to give you a free stock. And you're like, what's the catch? And they're like, we sell your data.
That's
we own you.
Yeah, that's the risk though, right? Everyone should know nothing's free.
No, but I'd pay over data privacy breaches. Yeah, that's my opinion on it. But it should also, the option should also be is that I'll sell my data. And then they can sell it on the back end and make that margin. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fine with that. That's what the model should be is we sell our data. So whatever application we're using, we can decide what data to give and what not to give, right?
Oh.
So say we decide to buy in, we're going to be okay, I'll opt into this, but that should be okay, I'm going to get something back on this. And whatever data they're selling, I should get some margin on that, some percentage back to me. That's how the model should be, in my opinion.
I see. I see what you're saying.
It'll be interesting.
I wonder. How would that work though? It's how do we decide
valuable,
for which?
Well, so I don't know how it's gonna work with Robinhood specifically, but I'm saying in general, right? Obviously, I have no idea more of the intricacies of how Robinhood works, but
I think if you can be the person that innovates the industry so much so that you can actually begin paying your users for the data that they're giving you, then. And again, honestly, it wouldn't even be worth it to you at that point. You would literally, because companies do this. And I think there's been studies done on it where it's companies will be we will pay you $80 a year for us to track your device for 365 days. People are screw that. I don't want to do that. And instead it's would you accept these terms and conditions that we can have your data? And you're yes, check, let me use your app. People just don't, people would rather,
ease
I
of,
don't know.
ease of so there's always that balance, right? But I think people I think it's also people's they don't realize how valuable their data is. I think that's the key is they don't realize how much money they're making off of us for free. We're giving this for free. Yo, take it. I don't care about it. Take it. And they're making millions and millions of dollars. Yeah, exactly.
It's literally what makes them millions.
Exactly.
But again, it's just you wouldn't be able to utilize that service.
Exactly. It's all about creating a scalable model within that, right? Within the idea of So the user gets money back, right? Say even if it's like 0.8 of like, say like it's
Fabulous
1%
point.
of it, right?
Fabulous.
Like,
yes.
you know what I'm saying? Like if it's some percentage back, like that makes sense. It's like, okay, now make that scalable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure how like it goes to every company. Every company would have probably a different model on how this works, but it's like, that should be the fundamental model. It's like, data privacy should be the first thing. That should be the first model in all companies going forward. And Apple's buying into that. That's what Apple's doing right now.
And then what is the form that you get, the tax form? Is it a 1090? You like end up with 1099s,
right? Then for all services
like,
would have to return like some tax forms on it.
Do you know people that would be for you too? You're like, yeah, I made $3 on Apple.
It's like, oh shoot, I got this in the mail. I gotta add this to my taxes. I got this in the mail, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I mean, but that goes back to taxes are fundamentally too complicated for no reason. That's another thing.
Just tell us what we owe.
For another day.
Just oh my god, tell us.
Did you see that video? The girl
yes,
was like,
it's true. It's true though.
Like you'll teach me how to do it, right? No, we won't teach you. They're like, okay, but if I get it wrong, it'll be okay. No, we're gonna
that video was so good.
It's so good.
It's like, just tell us how much we owe. But okay, but back to the Robinhood thing, right? Like there's only so much innovation that anyone in the stock industry, stock market industry, finance world, because it's such an old-fashioned industry with like old hats and old like white-haired dudes. Like, it's how much innovation can you have in an industry like that? And that's why Robinhood like had to do what they did. Not saying it's ethical, but how would they implement blockchain when like the whole finance industry is like super sketch about it right now?
Like, I think if you have the model of like a way of running a company is that you always do the right thing, you're good, man. If you try to do that, like at least like obviously there's gray area, right? There's always gray area, but if you try to do the correct thing, that's what succeeds in the end.
It sucks because like companies who start off with the best intentions, like for example,
what I was saying,
Google, like their motto was like do no evil or something like that. But like in 2018, I believe they like got rid of that motto and they try to be as stealth as possible about it.
Yes.
Because they know that what they're doing is corrupt.
They're it's time.
Dude, never mind.
All of Silicon Valley is so shady, dude. Right now. Like you guys know about like fracking and things like this.
Yes,
it's really bad.
All like the big three, Google, Facebook, and Amazon are all invested in fracking and oil mining.
Oh, what? I did not know that.
I'm not joking. This is real. You can look it up. But yeah, so they're very shady, dude. They're like all green and whatever. Like green. I'm so green and the future's
I'm so
green. Right? Like, yeah, so they're not
talking
green,
about
dude.
their wallet.
They're not
by
green.
the way.
Yes,
exactly. Not the environment.
Dude, all these every company's a lot really shady, dude. Like,
I think
like
actually,
that's why like if I want to start a company, dude, I want to make it as clear as possible. Like open ledger. I want an open ledger company real quick.
So I have a question, Paras. So like if you started like, if you went through with your startup, I feel like a lot of companies go corrupt because they IPO. As soon as you have shareholders, they have control. All they want to do is make money.
Yeah.
So like if you started a company, would you want it to IPO eventually and run that risk?
That's why I'm not sure about
corrupt?
Like that's like a thing I'm gonna have to think about like once I get there. Obviously, dude, that's like so far.
You need to think about that now, Paras.
That's
What do you
down
mean?
The line, dude. What do you mean? Who knows when I'd get there? Who knows?
There's
Like, you have to get crazy value to get there.
Yeah,
it's actually even before you IPO. I mean, say you're a private company and you're I don't even know if Paras can hear us because he's just chilling in this.
He's just chilling, frozen.
But I know, you're back. But with startup companies, for example, in order to make a really good product, you need a team of people who are willing to dedicate their time. And in order to dedicate their time, you need to pay them. And when you have a company that's not profitable, you have investors that come alongside before the IPO. Investors come along, and then you can start, paying to get these things, and they have a say. And at the end of the day, as soon as you accept a single penny from an angel investor, a VC, whatever it is, you basically report to them. And if they're like
under their rule,
they're like, sell the data, and you're like, I refuse to sell the data. It's like, sell the data. You lose control at that point unless you're the person and your team is fully dedicated to the entire product.
Exactly.
It's like a TV show, Silicon Valley.
You need to get an investor that is a simp for you. that will do anything you say. That's
yeah,
all.
no,
That's
like,
all.
I'm gonna get a team of simps.
Yeah, no,
You
like,
need to get a
like,
team of simp investors.
Yeah, exactly. Like, even for me, like, I guess it's like, it's hard, right? Like, when you're starting a company, you're like almost willing to take on any investor. You're like, yo, yeah, invest in me, right? You believe in me, right? But it's like, you also want it where you kind of want to be like, yo, let me find the right one who actually has my same beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sure that's so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so hard.
But
But
that's
what if
my
they're
that's
just
my
like
goal. I want to
bullshitting
find
you to
someone
your
who is like,
face?
Also,
What if
I
they're
don't know. Yeah,
what if they're like, oh, I agree with everything you say, and like we're on the same page,
Yeah,
and then
it's like
boom, they
I
give
come
you
to them
money.
and I'm like, yo, my number one priority is data privacy, and then they're like, yeah, right, and then
They
they
give you
go
money.
along all the way, and then on the back end they're like, no, sell all your data now. Like,
yeah, they're like, we promise that those that we're selling your data to will keep it private.
Yeah, like, yeah, maybe I will get screwed like that one day, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
And actually,
yeah.
Go ahead, Andrew. Sorry.
Well, I have a question for you guys. So like, I feel like a lot of startups, they take investors because it's got to move really quickly to like compete with the other startups. Is there such thing as like any like big tech companies that like don't have any investors? Like they have 100% ownership of their company? Or is it like, in order to be big, you have to like take on investors?
No,
you have to take on investors.
I can't think of any.
Like, even if you're a
investors,
billionaire, you don't spend your own money. You don't invest your own money into your company because that's your then it's your loss. Like the entire worth of the company is your loss. So
and your responsibility in general to take care of it.
Exactly. And so yes, like there's no company that's fully 100% on their own.
Maybe there's something, but it'd be interesting.
Yeah,
to
no,
find.
I can't think
off the top of my head. Company.
Yeah, no,
I mean, the company I work for, like the owner, I just learned today, he owns 100% of it, but they're no Airbnb. Right? No, they have like private. Less than 100 employees, and they're going to stay private. And their best hope is merging with a bigger company. They're not going to IPO ever.
Exactly.
Like look at how big you can get private. Like we were talking about Citadel. Look how big Citadel is. They're making so much money, but they're private. They're completely private.
They are private. So, I wonder if they have any investors or if they are one of those companies that own.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how the owning structure goes and whatever. But like,
I'm sure they have a board.
There has to be
so much money. They're making.
They have
so
a board
much
for
money.
sure. It's not one person.
Yeah, no, it's, but even if it is a couple people that have ownership in it, if they have that exclusive, there definitely has to be companies out there that are like within a family or something. So,
yeah, probably.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
true.
We won't get into this one, but like the Fed is privately owned. So
what? I didn't know that.
The Fed is not a government.
You didn't know that?
Oh god damn. Now we're gonna be on their radar, Kayla. Thanks for that.
They're listening.
Our podcast is like
they're listening to us.
I'm not cutting this out. I'm not cutting this out.
NSA.
We're leaving it out there.
Is NSA private?
No, I saw this on TikTok. That's where I found out about that. I didn't know about it before TikTok.
Getting information on TikTok.
Yo, TikTok's legit,
did you fact check?
This is literally all my dad talks about on YouTube. Okay. He's just like, and the Fed is privately owned.
Man, what's his YouTube called?
Dude, what is he? By the way, like, what does he do on YouTube though? Like, I just know. I remember you saying
Jay Bravo, like the cartoon character. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember you saying he does YouTube, but I didn't know what he did.
I want his advice.
He has over 100. He has more subscribers on YouTube than I do on TikTok.
Yo, that's crazy.
It's insane.
How many?
He's making cash money on YouTube then.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's so good, especially in the finance world. I think
that's awesome.
Let's see how many he has. Maybe like 120,000.
That's awesome.
But anyways, I also want to say too, like one of the things that I faced as a TikToker who accidentally went viral in her second week, 117,000 subscribers, by the way.
Nice. What's the video that got you viral, by the way? That took you.
The bull and the bear video apparently went.
That was the one that I think I saw, and like I commented, and then that's when we started talking because we're like, oh, another girl that does like stock stuff, like.
And I remember so vividly. I was like walking down the pier. I posted it. I put my phone down, and I went on a walk with my husband, and we were walking down the pier, and I was like, I'm so embarrassed. I have to go delete that video. But it worked, so that's helpful. But
no, if you guys haven't watched it, like you have to watch it. I'll go share it with you guys.
I should reenact it.
Do it.
No, I'm just kidding. But one of the things, honestly, the amount of businesses and companies that reached out to me immediately afterwards, because I think later that week I ended up hitting like 50,000, not because of that, not just that video, but another one that followed
like
that
the
one
combination.
up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The number of companies that reached out and were like, how do we, we'd like to pay you for this and we'd like to pay you for that. And I was just like, I don't know. Oh my gosh. And the Discord bros, talk about stock bros, talk about Linux bros, but Discord bros, I can go on for, they're like, and we will pay you $2 for every 1,000 users that you get to join I was like, sorry, excuse me, what? Like, this is so, I'm new to this, but I know this is wrong. And at that point, it's like, am I willing to sell stuff to my audience just to make a couple bucks?
That's a huge thing.
And for me, the answer every single time so far has been no. The reason why I work with Iris is because of what I told you guys. They're giving all of the data back to investors. Actually, who I trade options with, Andrew, is Tastyworks. They're teaching me how to trade options. They're literally Mondays and Fridays we go live, and they're teaching me.
Tastyworks just a
site? Tastyworks is a brokerage app like Robinhood or like Thinkorswim, but then tastytrade.com has free resources on learning options. That's all they do. They just dedicate all of their time to, it's like, I think it's from 7 a.m. Central Time until, or no, maybe 5 a.m. Central Time, something super early.
Well, it's the trading one. Tasty what?
Tasty Trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on that ASAP.
And they're live from like 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. Pre-market to post-market. They're doing live videos just to teach people how to do this stuff.
And you do this on Mondays?
Mondays and Fridays.
Okay.
I go live.
Ping me when you go next time, because I want to watch.
Yeah.
But those are the two people that I have partnered with that I am like, yes, of course I'll partner with you, because you guys are giving stuff back to
free,
and the CEO or the co-founder and CEO of Tastyworks is the one that's teaching us, and he's like, I want to pass the torch to the younger generation. And I'm like, excuse me, thank you. Like, seriously, live. He's just like, I need you guys to know how to do this so that we don't die and nobody takes over for us.
That's
like
awesome.
That's a phenomenal company to me. And
I like that. Yeah.
Those are the two where I'm like, yes, you guys, I will. And I don't even get paid for like these things, but when they're like, yes, I'll sell you stuff. I actually literally this week, and Krystal, I told you, I'd tell you whatever I make on TikTok. I will tell you. I'm upfront about it. I do not care. But whatever they're willing to pay me, I'm like, sure. But the reality is I would have posted this no matter what. So whatever.
That's You're awesome. Like, if you saw how much TikTok paid me, you would. I would. Paras was saying that you're probably making like 1,000 times more than he is. We'll see. Paras, get your phone out.
I know how much it is off the top of my head. That's how low it is.
Wait, what is
That's how low it is. It's like $105 or something. It's like $105 in total. Like that's the total.
$105?
Yeah, that's it.
Paras, what's your account name?
My name, PARAS.ADHIKARY.
I can spell your name without looking at it. Your last name?
Wait, that's impressive. Can you?
I remembered it. Yes.
Really? That's impressive.
ADIHA. Wait, hold on.
I just spelled it right now for you.
ADHIKARY.
Yes. Nice.
Because I pronounced it because I memorized it so I can like pronounce it right. I'm like Adhikuri. So I memorized it because I didn't want to mess it up one day.
How do you pronounce it?
I know that's not how you pronounce it, but
how do you pronounce it?
You want the easy way to pronounce it is Adhikari.
No.
Adhikari?
Okay.
No, give us the real way.
That's the way I tell everyone to pronounce it because they can't say the real one. Adhikari is the real way. Adhikari. So the DH makes it the D like a D, but D with a D.
What's
so Adhikari? Yeah, no, it's hard. That's why I don't tell people that. I say Adhikari. Adhikari. Is that easier to say?
Adhikari.
There you go.
Adhikari.
Yeah.
My maiden name was Stenzel. It's German though. I don't even know how to say it in German. But I would just be like, oh yes, I'd just say stencil. Yeah, I'm like stencil.
Yeah, and you gotta do it,
Ah.
because it's like, like how we just spent 30 seconds where I'm saying it and you guys are trying to say it. It's like, makes no sense to spend that time. So I'm like, Adhikari.
Yeah. Or actually my current last name, which is I tell people Kilbride, and people are like, so sorry, what? What? Huh? And I'm like, no, it's okay.
Kill who?
I know exactly.
Kill who?
Wait,
what were you gonna? Oh, yeah, your TikTok thing. I forgot.
I actually, so I stopped on because I thought that the what is it called? What's it called? The creator or something? TikTok creator fund.
Yeah.
They said that it like slaughters your views.
Yeah.
But does it? Did it slaughter your views?
My views are better than ever. My views are better than ever right now.
Your views are better than ever because I'm on your team.
How long have you been doing? How long have you been on
TikTok? Take all the credit, Krystal.
Yeah, I've been on TikTok since June. I've been going for a while.
Okay.
I've been like pushing him to do like more personal content that like helps people like see who he is as a personality, because all he was doing was just like stuff like his like coding stuff, which is fine, but like he's also an online personality, so like people need to see that too, and I think he's opening up more now, and that's why he's doing well.
Yeah, that's so good.
I'm not taking the credit. I'm just saying I think people like your personality now.
There's like I was like there's like a depressed point of my page where I was just like not making good content because I was making it. I make it every single day. So it's like there's like one point where I was just like burnt out of ideas and I was just making trash content for a little bit, and then like I'm a little bit back now.
Do you still make content every single day?
Yeah, every single day. I've never missed a day since June.
For the algo, or is it
No, it's not for the algo. It's for like
the A word.
No, it's just a personal challenge.
The A word. It's the A word. Yes.
It's not like initially, like when I started out, I was like, like for the algorithm, like it's cool, like, oh yeah, for the algorithm I'll do like every day and let's just try it, right? Like I just thought of it as a challenge initially on, and it was just like it turned into like I like challenging my creativity like every single day. Like let's see what I can come up with every day.
So good. Right? That's so
and
good.
Like let's just see what happens, and it's ended up working like decently, right? Like I'm not as big as you are, even close, but like but it's like it's fun for me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Her niche is so niche though. Like there's no women public like women like traders in general, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
And she describes the process in a way that like a normal person would understand. And I think that's her key. I think that was her key to success in my opinion.
And I think my dilemma at this point is, now that I'm understanding things more, like even Andrew, when we're talking about like, oh, are you selling? So you buy a put, like the conversation of that is so complicated, because it's like, how do you explain this really briefly?
Right. Exactly.
When you understand it, it's like, oh shoot. Like,
do you use the Feynman technique?
What is it?
Are you familiar with that?
I use my theater skills, far too many years.
Real quick summary of what it is like you learn a topic, and then like to yourself or another person, you explain it where someone who doesn't know anything about it can understand it. And you'll see like how much do they get it, right? And then if they don't get it at all, you kind of go back to the drawing board, relearn it, and be like, okay, now how can I teach to that person, right? And you go back and you try to teach them again. And it's like, if they get it that time, you're like, okay, now I really understand this topic. Whereas someone who didn't know anything about it understood from what I explained, And it's like, that's a technique I've used before, but I don't know how is your process? I'm curious.
I mean, part of it is the fact that I was both the learner and the teacher at the exact same time. So it was kind of easy to figure out like how to teach yourself in that moment. And so for me, what I've done at this point is just say, how can I get this to as close as a real life situation as possible, where it makes sense to any person to understand an abstract concept? So for example, metaphors never do justice. They're never meant to exactly explain a specific thing, but it's meant to get the person just close enough to understand it, so that they can begin to conceptualize the foundation of that concept. So that's what I did with the options one, where I was like, okay, can I every single time I make a video, where else in life do I do this? Like futures trading, trying to explain futures trading to someone. It's like, what is that? You know, and you just sit there and you're like, okay, where else in life do I exchange something for like a guarantee? Like it's a price match guarantee. Oh, futures is like a price match guarantee on your, you know, you can take your coupon from your whatever. I don't know what it has to be, but or SPACs. SPACs was one that I did recently. Someone was trying to,
I saw that video.
You saw that? Someone tried to teach me SPACs. Also, it TikTok murdered that video. I don't know what happened.
It's literally just the blank check companies, right?
Yeah, that's a good way of explaining it.
It's just the blank check companies that like are, you know, you're like, oh, you read the bios of these stocks and you're like, blank check company, what is that? But I think it's just an acquisition company. But go ahead, sorry.
I mean, I was talking when my friend was explaining it to me, I was like, wait a second. So it's like, it sounds like there's the difference between an IPO, the initial public offering, and the SPAC, obviously, is that it's like, I said, is it like when you're adopting a baby versus like having a baby? Like there's a whole process of having a baby. It's like 9 months, you do all the baby showers, you do all the stuff. There's all this, you know, you create your registry. And he's like, and then I said, and then adopting, you have an agency that kind of does all the work for you. And then you know that you're going to get a baby. You just don't know where that baby is coming from, you know? And they're like, he's like, actually, wait, why is that so accurate?
Yeah, I want to be a SPAC, I think.
That's where you invest. So you're investing into.
That's a great description.
That is an awesome description.
To do the work for you. You'll get your baby. Yeah. You just don't know who it is.
Even you guys get it.
You got a talent for it, man. You got a talent for it, honestly.
So it's just asking yourself, where else in life do I do this? I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't have thought of the baby thing. Yeah, no.
I know. I also probably am the only person who was like, oh yeah, shopping is like, you know, buying options is like shopping at Ulta. But whatever.
That's great.
All right. Well, I mean, I think we might have tired Kayla out. So we're gonna
my lighting
wrap up. Her lighting is just went dark.
Yes,
it went dark.
Exactly.
But Kayla, thanks for coming. Like, I think we learned a lot today. I think I learned a few things. But would love to have you again at some point. But I am gonna watch your Tasty Tray thing. Like, I want you to tell me what time it is, and then I will hop on.
Honestly, and they're all recorded on their website, so you can, if you're learning it too.
Okay.
Like, that's cool. Actually, Krystal, we can set up a phone call too at some point to talk Greeks. But
I mean, I'm down. Like, what's your free time? Like, I'm down to just make time. I know that's the thing. Like now. I think you've gotten more busier since that talk that we had, and I've gotten more busier since the talk we had, because I've, on top of school, I took on a podcast as well as actually creating content on a regular now. So, but yeah, we'll figure it out. It out.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for having me. I feel like I also learned a lot too, especially Bitcoin. Paris, great on that, and everything's been super fun. So.
Yeah, no problem. I'm no expert. Wrap it up. I'm no expert. All right. All right. Thanks guys for listening and watching to the podcast. Thanks to Kayla for being on. She was awesome. We learned a lot. We talked crypto,
everyone go follow
finance,
her.
Trading, everything.
We're gonna put all her links.
You have anything to plug real quick? You want to plug anything?
No.
We're just gonna put all of her links in the description.
All her links will be in the description. Yeah. And
thank you, Andrew, for joining.
Cool. Peace out, guys.
Bye.